everybody, and I'm so excited to introduce this wonderful woman that I met at Ophelia. This year, Laura Quattlebaum, the retired chief of the CHP, came to speak with our girls about being brave and sharing her story about being in the CHP starting all the way back in the 80s, right?
Right.
Yes, and I just wanted to share it with you. So I'm excited for that. And you are from, you're born and raised here?
I was born in India, yes.
Yeah. So you lived in the Valley for quite a long time.
Right.
Only girl, 5 brothers.
4 brothers.
Four brothers.
Younger sister.
Younger
yes.
sister. Okay.
5
perfect.
of us, though. Big family.
So big family. You were always very active, growing up and whatnot.
Yeah, when I was born in India, but my dad actually worked for Kaiser Steel, which is they own and operated this small town, Eagle Mountain, about an hour east of here.
That's right.
But we still came out here. Everything was here. There was no stores out there, so everything we came out here.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty active sports. You know, I think I just became good at sports just from fighting and wrestling with all the brothers, and I just learned a physical life.
Yeah.
You know what? Got hit. Oh, okay, I'm gonna hit back.
That's
you know?
right.
It was just outdoors. That's back when you could play outside and you just knew to be home when the street lights went out.
Very different from now.
Yes,
very different
definitely.
From now. Yeah. So you went to college. You played basketball in college.
Yeah, so I played basketball in high school as well. I played all sports in high school. I just happened to be better at basketball. And then Kaiser Steel closed down their business in 1982, so we moved to Beaumont. My family did, and that's where I really focused on basketball.
Yeah.
And then recruited by several schools, and the Cal Baptist definitely won my heart. I just like that small community, small atmosphere, and yeah, I just thrived in it. It was great.
Being from such a small town, I can relate to that too.
Right.
It feels very much more like a community rather than, you know, such a scary experience to go to college.
Yeah, I didn't want to be just a number in a big population. I really wanted to I've always felt that, wanted to make a difference wherever I went and be invested in the people, my teammates, my professors, my coach. You know, we still talk to this day. All my teammates, a lot of us communicate and get together to this day.
Yeah. And then you found your way into the CHP.
Yeah.
Very interesting time for that. So tell us a little bit about what that was like.
So I graduated from Cal Baptist in 1988, and I have my teaching degree. And during high school in the summers, I also worked at Child Help USA in Beaumont, which is it's a residential home for abused children, severely abused children. And so it was rewarding, but yet tiring. So when I graduated, I'm like, I'm not ready to go work with kids yet. Let me just see what else is out there first, you know?
Yeah.
I guess kids now just take a gap year.
Yeah.
I didn't take a gap year. I just had to think about it quickly.
Right.
What we're going to do, right? So I just was looking through the newspaper and then saw California High Patrol. They were looking for women, and I was like, I just looked at the salary, and I'm like, you know what, that sounds cool. I can go anywhere. Yeah. And once I looked at the salary, I'm like, I can really be independent at a young age, start a career. And so I just started the process. And before I knew it, like 4 months later, I was getting accepted into the academy.
Yeah, it happened pretty quickly at that time.
Really quick, yes, at that time.
And I remember when you were talking to the girls, you talked a lot about the training.
Yes.
And how extensive it was and fun at the same time.
Correct.
Right?
So so in the academy, it's like a semi-military academy. There's, marching, there's a chain of command, there's structure. So every morning it was get up, and early in the morning you do PT, physical training. And for me, it was just like college. Yeah, they yelled a lot, but my coaches yelled at me a lot.
Right.
So it was like nothing like, some people had a hard time with it because they've never had to move past, have those challenges.
Right.
And it's not yelling where they're demeaning. It's yelling like, hey, dude, it just teaches you never to give up.
Yeah.
Who cares if people, when you're out there doing your job, if they yell at you?
Right.
Because you just learn to tune it out. So then after you do your PT, you go to classrooms all day where you had to study and get good grades. And as an athlete in college, you had to get good grades.
Right.
So to me, I just went from college, a few months off, right into the academy. So then at the end of every month, they kept giving me a check. And I had a full-ride scholarship to Cal Baptist, so it was kind of nice to keep getting these checks. And you weren't allowed to really go anywhere and spend it. There was no online shopping.
Right, it's
so
totally different.
It was totally different. So I just kept getting these checks, and then my retirement was started.
Yeah.
So that was key, and then you start, it was just fun. Then you get to drive fast. They teach you how to drive fast. They teach you how to, shoot all kinds of firearms, and it was like a camp.
Right.
But a tough camp.
Not for the faint of heart.
No, my son just graduated from the CHP Academy last Friday, so
that's exciting.
He now understands everything I went through, and he now knows he can do hard things and get past it as well.
Well, that's part of it, right? And especially during that time, how many other women were in the academy with you?
I think we had about 25 female cadets, and we graduated about 18.
Okay.
So it's very low numbers.
Right.
So.
And it's a lot different in the academy now, I'm sure, for women, and I'm sure you had to work extra hard to move yourself up the ladder and be willing to do the night shift, willing to work here, willing to work there in order to work yourself up the ladder. Right.
So there's two different myths about women when you go in law enforcement, where it's a male-dominated career. You have the one half who wants to treat you harsher. You have to earn your way, which, we all want to earn our way. Sure. Why you have to point that out. Right. I bet you had to earn your way, but they don't talk about when men have to earn their way. Then there's the other half that feels like, I gotta make sure I'm there for you. I don't want you to get hurt. They just think we're a little fragile.
Right.
When I just want to tell them, I bet you I've been in more fights with my brothers than you have. Yeah. So, it was kind of both ends of the spectrum. Yeah. But once they see, she knows what, they know what they're doing, then you just assimilate right in. But it was tough in a male-dominated career in the beginning. That was a different tough skin that I had to learn.
Right.
Things that would say there's, sexual harassment. I think the zero tolerance was just starting at that point, because it definitely got better and better and better as I went on in my career. But in the very beginning, I was shocked at some stuff I heard. But again, you just take that instead of let it beat you down, and look, that's just how they were great, It was the way that it was, the status quo for so long. So I just let those remarks call them out on it, because they're not used to that. Right. And it just got better and better and better. Yeah.
And interesting that you were able to witness and be a part of that change in such a direct way. Because we talk about it now, and not that sexual harassment has gone away, or not that there isn't some areas where it's male dominated, but that was that's a different time. It was so different, and you literally got to watch it change.
I watched it from one end of the spectrum, and I think it's a whole lot better. There's training every year. Yeah. I think from, the Highway Patrol learned, they saw other police agencies with lawsuits with sexual harassment. The CHP also endured their own lawsuits, and they're like, you realize what a liability is. Yeah. And so I think that's when the brave women actually started speaking up back in the 80s. Yeah. That just paved the road to make it better for myself. And I always want to leave the road a little bit better than myself for the others behind that are coming up. Right. So that's always been a goal.
Yeah, and you teach now at College of the Desert.
Yes, I teach Intro to Criminal Justice at College of the Desert right now. In adjunct, I do part-time. Okay. I used to teach report writing, I can't remember, natural resources and law enforcement, a few other classes, but I really enjoy the Intro to Criminal Justice, because I get those that are interested in law enforcement, while I get those that take it as an elective, and I think, hey, if I can give them some knowledge on how your amendments really work, and that what they see on social media, it's a big difference. Sure. A lot of young kids are influenced by social media, and they think it's all true, and it's not. So I'm able to just open their eyes up, give them a different perspective, and hopefully they get that bug, and they go. I've had several students go through police academies. Actually, there was one of my students was in my son's class, graduated, and then I have another student right now. She's currently
That's awesome.
in there. So so it's good to see that success, and they get excited. And
you made a comment during the talk with the girls, like, about the level of training that California officers receive. Like, it's the highest level of training.
I personally think California has the top trained law enforcement officers in the United States. Yeah. Post is pretty serious. We put in a lot of hours to get post certified, but I know LAPD is like over 1,000 hours of training, and the CHP is like over 1,300 hours of training.
Yeah.
So we do extra training.
Yeah.
Because we do. They have to get their sexual harassment training. They have to get all the policies that are way up there in the Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
That we think are important. So it's a lot more. EMT or EMRs, how to do first aid.
Right.
We do all that. How do you investigate a collision?
Right.
How do you arrest drunk drivers? How do you make arrests? How do you investigate crimes? So much more goes in outside of post.
Right.
And protection too. How to defend yourself, how to defend others. You spend a lot of time on the law and policies, when you can use firearms, should you use less lethal.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of last minute decisions made in law enforcement that
Absolutely.
a lot of people have a hard time comprehending. But it's really split second. So if we can instill them over and over and have it, the good things, that decision making process,
Yeah.
hopefully the best decisions are made out there that benefit both the officers and the public.
Right. You made a comment that really stuck with me during the class, and it was you were there during the riots.
Yes.
I've told this story, not as good as you, to other people, because it was so, one thing that you said, and I thought it was so important, is you for the first time realized what it felt like to feel different. You in your uniform, a white woman in the middle of this whole thing, you realized in that moment like what it was to be different. And that was impactful for our girls because being different is something that they experience every day.
Correct.
Right? And I thought that experience, that when you shared that with them, I know it was so impactful to hear that and that experience.
I think it takes time as we get older and mature to admit what we didn't know growing up to what we know now, and to put words to it and feelings to it. Yeah, when I came on the Highway Patrol, you hear about racism, you hear about how this police agency treated this community bad. You hear about it and you believe it, but it never really sinks in. So when the riots started, I was working in LA, Santa Fe Springs area, and we got thrown right into it. And I was young.
Yeah.
I was 23, 24.
I mean, that's
and
kids right
my
now.
eyes were just wide open, and I'm oh my goodness. So when I went there, because we were there for 9-10 days in a row, just straight long hours. And in the beginning, it was really just to see all the looting and the fires that were going on really broke my heart. I mean, I wasn't angry. I was just this community. They're saying, hey, don't trash our community. But it's the people that live there that were doing it.
Right.
It really gave some people just an excuse to go out there and act on their tendencies that are not good for this world. But there was one incident where this drunk individual, African-American male, just looked at me, and then he just snapped while looking at me. And I'm why is this guy mad at me? I'm here trying to protect everyone in this community. And it dawned on me, it wasn't me personally. He saw my white skin, he saw my police uniform, and they did not trust the police.
Yeah, right.
And he was coming at me, and it was a long thought process that happened in a matter of a couple seconds.
Right.
But luckily my partner came around, who was African American, and once he saw my partner, he just snapped back the other way, and I was oh, it was like a light bulb went off, and it's just a major turning point in my life where I was you know what, we need to earn trust from the public. We cannot sit here and pretend that we're all everyone's saviors, because some people don't see us as saviors. They see us as the enemy, and they judge us just like they have been judged, and they can't help it. It's an instinct. It's like a protective instinct, and it takes time to change people's behavior, their opinions. It's not hard to get around a perception. It's a lot of roadblocks. It takes a lot of work, tenacity on our part. The ones who want to change it, we have to put in the work, so we can prove to them, hey, we're good.
Right.
99% of us are good.
Yeah. And like you said, it was a very long thought process that happened in a second.
Yes.
And maintaining that calm.
Yes.
To think through what's happening, and make sure that you're making the best decision for not just yourself, but for that person who isn't in their right mind in the situation, right? And to be able to do that is a skill that takes years of building up.
I believe I will credit my athletic journey.
Yeah,
because when you're an athlete, I played basketball, so I played every position on the court, the game's fast. You got to make quick decisions, and if you made the wrong pass or went down the wrong lane, coach was yelling at you.
Yeah.
And the same with the Highway Patrol. I credit with them too, because I was afraid.
Of
I
course
don't
you were
think
afraid.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is it, Laura.
Yeah.
This is your moment.
Yeah.
But it's funny how inside my brain though, it just put out this calm thought process, while the emotional other half of my brain was like, oh my god, what's going to happen here? Oh my gosh, this is it. But luckily the calm part training won out, and it led to a very successful conclusion where nothing happened.
Right.
It had potential to explode, and nothing happened.
Right.
So,
like I said,
I'll
that story,
never
I've told
forget
that story a few
moment.
times.
Yeah, definitely a moment.
Yeah.
And switched my paradigm.
You know, not a long time ago, and also like worlds.
The whole world watched us.
So everybody was watching what was happening, you know, and it was just.
It was right when video cameras came out, and I'm sure it caught the whole world by surprise, because that was the first time we actually witnessed something that was, and then everyone got to watch the riots on TV, and it was the ringing in my ears from the sirens for over a week. It was for like a few weeks after that, you know, you still, we talked about it a lot, luckily, in our briefings.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. And you stuck with it. You
stuck with it.
You went through, and you spent how many years in CHP?
30 years.
30 years.
You know what? They entrusted me with the badge to protect the people, so I can't just quit over one bad incident.
Yeah, but that's like a continuing theme for you. Like you didn't let people's words get to you. You were okay with the physical part. You studied and made sure you got it. So that was a continuing theme for you.
It was, and it changed, because then, you know, my whole goal then was like, you know what, I want to get back home to the Coachella Valley and start earning the trust of the people and do better. You know, I never heard anything bad or negative about the relationships between law enforcement out here and the community. I think for the most part, generally from what I heard, it was very good. Tammy Lowe is the public information officer prior to me. She, I think, laid that foundation for me. Right. Because she was really good with the community. Yeah. So I saw what she did, and when she left and I took over for her, man, it just was a seamless transition, and we just continue that work in these communities. So I just feel it made a big difference. Yeah, and you did some other things that were kind of substantial here. Talking about the expressway. Yes, the expressway.
You saw a problem that needed to be fixed. Correct. And you joined forces with some people to make that happen. So I worked the night shift, which we call graveyard shift out here for the CHP, and God, we just saw so many head-on collisions and fatalities at what we call the old 86. And so luckily there was a grant that was started. It was called Harvesting Safety. So we just went out there and hammered down, as we would say. I mean, we just did a lot of enforcement, arrested a lot of drunk drivers, and hopefully brought our crashes down. But we had to show that this is a dangerous road. And we were able to. And luckily, another fantastic lady, Karen Devine, she started she did an investigative story on it. So we sat down many times, we know the statistics, what we're trying to do. We had her talk to families that were victims of horrible tragedies that happened on the 86. She brought so much awareness at a higher level for us. We got that funding quickly. Caltrans joined in because they recognized it. Right. And that expressway was built so quickly because of all the efforts, and all my brothers and sisters at the CHP went out there, and they knew too. They knew there was a goal to our enforcement, not just going out there and writing citations and arresting people, but we also went in and educated the public. We went to town hall meetings, we went to any community group. So back then there weren't that many, so we were able to get those going and get the community involved. Because the best way for success is to have that partnership with the community. We can't do it by ourselves. Right. We need that community input. And it's community changing. Like that has changed the community and saved lives. And it's, you know, I've learned a lot over the past couple of months, year or so, that there is a way to change things. And I'm not going to say particularly like my generation or a lot of people, but you have this feeling like, it's just the way that it is. Like, we're just going to deal with that because it's the way that it is. And I've learned through people like you telling those stories, like, you can actually change everything. Right. Takes some time, takes getting the resources, takes making the connections with the community and all those things, but you can really affect that change.
And I compare it to a marathon. You can meet people at a 5K, but you just met them. You're not really invested in them.
Yeah.
But if you stick it out in the long haul, they see you're invested. It's like that marathon. It's hard.
Right.
Never ran a marathon. I never want to.
Yeah, same.
However, you just go in there with the mindset, hey, however long this takes, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep doing it.
Right.
And it did not weigh on me. It was not, I would not go home exhausted at the end of the day.
Sure.
I enjoyed it. You know how many great people I got to meet, and they helped along the way. And even my partners in transportation, like Caltrans and the media, God, we built great relationships.
Right.
And it was fun. I couldn't wait to go to work and just get back out there. It's not draining.
Right, and that's something you said a few times that day in the classroom was you really enjoyed what you were doing.
Yes.
And so the extra long days, the graveyard shifts, the dealing with XYZ, it was all okay because you felt you loved what you did.
Yes.
And that's something that, you went to school to be a teacher. Girls, young girls everywhere are told to go to school to be teachers.
Yes.
Teachers are great. Like, that's nothing to be said negatively about it. But what if you followed your passion, and found something that hit all of those things for you?
Naturally growing up, and I don't know where this came from. I talked about it, Ophelia. I mean, I just always wanted to serve people. I can't pinpoint one thing that made me that way.
Sure.
What just made me endurance, except maybe just athletics again.
Yeah.
It just teaches you to get in the trenches and just keep going for it, keep working hard, just like the High Patrol Academy and just doing all that. I just always felt a calling to serve people. Always. Don't know where it came from, but I'm glad it was there.
Yeah.
And it's a seed that I just kept watering and watched it grow inside of me. It just naturally happened.
Right.
So, you do have those people that just naturally want to help. You don't have to try to push them. God, I hope they help me. It's like, oh, let's ask so-and-so.
Sure.
I know they will help.
Yeah.
Because they like this.
Yeah.
And they care.
I'm sure you've had some mentors or some people along the way that gave you some really good advice. Can you give us some today?
Oh my goodness. So I have had a lot of people. One, she was my captain when I was a lieutenant out here. She was just like, you just got to learn not to take things personal. Because a lot of people don't like female bosses today. It's tougher for us. So you just have to learn, once you don't take things personal, it's so much easier just let things slide off again. Because it's different at each level.
Sure.
I let things slide off when I was an officer, but it was different. Each rank is a little bit different, I think, especially for women. So once you learn not to take things personal, because people are going to gripe.
Yeah.
People are going to rebel back. That's just how some humans are built, and that's how they're made. We all have a little bit of it in us. I always tell my classes I'm a little bit rebellious, but I rebel only against the things that I know aren't harmful if I don't make it.
Sure.
So that was some of the best advice I got. Just don't take things personal. Keep your goal focused right in front of you, and for me that was very easy to do. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So you must be excited for your son.
Yes, he's just starting. He is assigned to Napa, so he's up north, and he's very excited. And it's very. I got to pin his badge on, which was very emotional. I didn't think I would cry, but it was different. So as a mom, you worry differently for your children than he would have been if he was my beat partner. When some of my best friends, their kids have also gone through, and I'm like, oh, don't worry about it, they'll be fine. And now they tell me, and I'm like, that's my boy,
son.
that's my son. It's different. So I'm very proud of him because he's never pushed himself to do something hard before. This was really the first thing he challenged himself with, and there's a few moments, gosh, I just had to listen to him and just remind him the yelling serves a purpose. This serves a purpose.
Right.
All these hard things you're going through serve a purpose, so just embrace it.
Yeah.
And I would just listen to him gripe, but then when he would finish something hard, they have to get tased in the academy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have to get OC spray put on them. And he was so nervous before, but to hear him laugh about it, he's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And he can hey, I did it.
Yeah.
It's a rite of passage.
100%.
It's a rite of passage. It's like we all went through it.
Yeah.
So
and other people made it.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's so important, obviously mother-son, that's a whole different dynamic.
Yes.
But sharing the story, saying it was hard for me too. Yeah. We were able, but I did it, and other people did it. You can do it. you can do it.
Yes, and it's great because training's different. You know, we now
Yeah.
teach today after George Floyd. There's de-escalation skills we have to train. It's
Interesting.
mandatory. It's by law. So to hear him talk about those things, and it's great because he'll ask me questions like, I don't know, buddy. I'll have to ask you the questions
Right.
because you experienced it. So now
Yeah.
you get to help others get through the academy.
Yeah.
So he's already helping. You know, like my other student who's in there now.
Yeah.
He helped mentor a little bit. So if I can just keep passing that down, paying it forward,
One person at a
mentoring.
time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And just lay that foundation because other people will follow. The good ones follow.
Yeah. And I think being a person who just wants to be of service and have an effect on the community, I love that you just really think about it as one person at a time, because I believe that that's actually how things change, and that's how things are passed on. It's just a very small group at a time, you know, because the impact is more meaningful when it's that connected that way.
And that's why I enjoy teaching at College of the Desert right now,
Yeah.
because if I can still just motivate someone to go into law enforcement, and it's usually just a few students each class, that's excellent because that means what I've been talking about motivates them, and all I did was put a little water on their seed that's going to grow where they want to serve and help people.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't force people. I don't like, hey, you need to sign up for the Highway Patrol. You need to do law enforcement. It's like, you have to want it. So there's always just, 1 to 3 students every class that will come up to me afterwards and start talking about that career. Start talking about the Highway Patrol or other law enforcement agencies.
Right.
We have great law enforcement agencies out here.
Yeah.
That I can push them into and have great people they can talk to. So if I can keep putting good people in the law enforcement, I just like to think that it's just going to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
In every career path.
Yeah. And that's part of your legacy.
Yes, right?
Yeah,
Just want it to get better for everyone and take care of the people.
Yeah.
So.
That's so great. I really appreciate that, Laura, very much.
Oh, well, thank you. It's just naturally, it
I
just
know,
comes.
but see, you could have it and not use it.
Right.
And like you said, you've watered that your whole life, and it's the effect. It will go on even after you stop doing that.
Yes, I hope so, and I hope they do the same thing and just pay it forward and realize it's the good people that the community loves, and I always remind them, we have 99.9% good people. Unfortunately, the media captures the 1%ers. And you know what? That's the way it goes, and that's okay. Because we too can learn from others' mistakes.
Yeah.
So as long as people keep that the focus, hey, let's not do that. Trust me, other law enforcement agencies pay attention when there's a blunder that goes. And we don't like it, that all we get pointed out is the negative. But one of the exercises usually I've had my students do is like, hey, I want you to go research and find the positive things that you read in the news that law enforcement does. So that was great because they would come back with all over the nation when they save people from a burning home, a burning car, deliver babies, help people. Someone lost everything in a fire, so they would go and take them shopping. All these great things. So it's good that they have to know that this is out there too.
Yeah.
You have to give them that 100%, or the 360 perception of law enforcement.
Right. Very good.
So,
very good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
No, just hey, thank you for the opportunity and having me here. Anytime we can put the word out, and if anyone reaches out to you, send them my way.
We will. I was so excited. I've told everybody, having you in classroom that day was just really
impactful. Good. I've done it a few other times, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, I appreciate it very much.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Laura.